Hello, I'm your host Charmaine, and welcome to Beautiful Gems. On our last episode, we talked about how gems are formed and the process they go through. And in my excitement, I went straight to the protective gear without giving you guys any place to go. So on this episode, let's pull together some of those components we spoke about in the previous episode to mine your gems, just so that we can clarify and broaden that picture for you. That way you have a roadmap, and then we'll dress you up with some place to go. So the mining process can be broken down into 5 stages. First, there's prospecting the land. Second, designing a blueprint. Third, constructing the dig site. Fourth, producing the actual gems. And fifth, reclamation, returning the dig site to its natural state. Okay, so now that we have these 5 stages down, let's talk about the mining crew, the people that it takes to get the job done. So there are some key players or leaders in charge. So you have the geologist, the engineer, and the excavator. The geologist is the one who explores the land to tell you where the gem deposits can be found. So they do the prospecting. The engineer is the one who puts together the plan to retrieve the gems. So they do the design and create the blueprint. And then there's an excavator who puts the last 3 stages into a plan of action, supporting with workers and heavy machinery and that lovely protective gear to dig up those gems. Now, let me ask you, who do you think all of these roles represent? The geologist, the engineer, and the excavator. Yes, they represent God. It's so fortunate for us that he represents all 3. He's the source. He's the creator. So he is the great geologist, the engineer, and excavator, all wrapped up into one. This is important because your relationship with God will play a pivotal role throughout the mining process from beginning to end, with your self-exploration, self-examination, self-acceptance, and eventual self-transformation and healing. As a creator, he not only knows you better than anyone, but he loves you more importantly. So you can be sure that wherever the great geologist is directing you to prospect, it's for your benefit. It's for your good. At times, it may hurt, and at other times, it may feel good. But knowing he's by your side always will help you through the process. There is a poem that I love, which expresses this, called Footprints in the Sand by author unknown. Let's listen in on my adaptation of this poem. One night, I dreamed a dream. As I was walking along the beach with the Most High, across the dark sky flashed scenes from my life. For each scene, I noticed 2 sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to me and one to the Most High. After the last scene of my life flashed before me, I looked back at the footprints in the sand. I noticed that at many times along the path of my life, especially at the very lowest and saddest times, there was only one set of footprints. This really troubled me, so I asked the Most High about it. Lord, you said once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I noticed that during the saddest and most troublesome times of my life, there was only one set of footprints. I don't understand why, when I needed you the most, you would leave me.
My precious child, I love you, and I would never leave you. During your times of trial and suffering, when you see only one set of footprints, it was then that I carried you.
I hope you enjoyed that. That poem has helped me throughout my life, from my teenage years on through to adulthood. Back in 2007, I purchased a journal with the Footsteps poem on the cover. I would like to share with you what I wrote on the first page. I am starting this journal to aid me in my self-discovery journey. I have many thoughts about my past, present, and future that run through my mind. but I need some place to organize them. Many of my thoughts are a result of my personal experiences, but a great deal come from outside sources of insight, like the Bible, self-help, motivational, psychology books and articles, speakers, family, and friends. For the first time in my life, when I turned 28 last May, I have not been so confused and angry. It was one of the nicest points that I reached in my life. I know that it was all because of God. He gave me sight, He gave me wisdom, strength, all the while got in my way, even though I had left Him. This is why I picked this journal. The Footprints poem means so much to me because I know now that there were so many times He's carried me through the storms in my life, even when I came to Him in shame, anger, and fear. He still took me in and took care of me. How can you not love a Creator who takes you in even when you are unaware or ungrateful of His blessings while you're in that spot? God is a loving, caring, forgiving, and wise God who knows you better than you know yourself and accepts you as you are with all your imperfections. I love God with all my heart and can only hope that He continues to guide me through this growth process called life. You see, this is exactly why you need the great engineer, because he knows the plans he has for you. He knows when your faith is weak, your heart is failing, and when you may want to give up. He knows what you need to get the job done, since he's the designer. There is no greater reference point. He has the original blueprint that he sent your soul with. Your soul is a perfect, direct link to God. The components of your unique spirit, mind, body, emotions, personality, and experiences that make up your blueprint and provide keys to mine your gems. So, who better to guide you than God? Now, let's talk action. As the Great Excavator, He will help you do the work, and He doesn't expect you to do it alone. As I mentioned in the previous episode, He provides spiritual and physical operators and workers. They can be angels, ancestors, spiritual leaders, healers, teachers, coaches, books, and media, family, friends, strangers, and animals alike. We are assisted all the time. I'm sure there is so much we are unaware of. But what if you pause for the cause and start to pay attention to the signs and signals of support coming through to you? We play an important part in activating these workers with the powerful machinery of prayer, meditation, stillness, and nature. Through using this heavy machinery, we strengthen our connection and communication with God. By developing our relationship, we activate our supporting operators and workers. You see, there's much they can do without your acknowledgement. But imagine if they have your acknowledgement. You, my friend, have the ability to step into your own power to transform and heal yourself with their support. So cultivating your relationship with God through prayer, meditation, stillness, and nature is highly important to begin, sustain, and grow through the journey to find your gems. Over the next few episodes, we're going to talk about that heavy machinery and how you can use it to your advantage as you go through the process of mining your gems. After that, don't worry, I got you. We're going to get to that protective gear. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I pray that you build your relationship with God, love yourself unconditionally, and put in the work to mine, refine, and shine those gems.